Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 2022 predictions for data protection and intelligent data management. I'm joined today by my colleague, Vinny Choinsky. Vinny, welcome.
Christophe, nice to be here and nice to chat about our 2022 predictions.
In 2022, I expect that the focus will be placed even more than it was in 2021 on compliance and data privacy, and we have great research that supports this. The reason being is that this is a big risk for a lot of enterprises if they don't comply. It's also great from a data governance perspective, so you can actually do more with your data, but for that, you have to be compliant and you have to respect those privacy requirements. With this in mind, Vinny, from a technology standpoint, what's your view for 2022?
Sure, I think you're going to see some of the companies that were doing indexing and classification start to look a lot like companies that were doing e-discovery. It's not just going to be metadata. They're going to want to crack open the files and understand not only where the data should be for cost and performance and things like that, but also what data they have and what the risk is to the organization.
In 2021, we have seen an acceleration of cyber events and ransomware all over the place, all over the news. Look, in 2022, I think we're going to see a major change. Disaster recovery as we know it is going to change to become cyber resilience because that's what it's all about. The bar has been raised, and that's going to change processes, technologies, and also how organizations have to organize themselves from an IT standpoint to react to this ransomware onslaught that we see every day. Vinny, from your perspective, what do you believe will actually happen in 2022 in this space?
Right. Christophe, I couldn't agree with you more. I think a large-scale cyber attack looks a lot more like a DR exercise, right? When you need to recover, oftentimes it's a larger part of your environment. So if you're going to build a DR process, I think it needs to incorporate cyber resilience capabilities. I think that cybersecurity plays a great role at the front end, but at some point, if you can't access your systems, you need to do something to recover them, and that's where cyber recovery, cyber resilience starts to play.
In 2021, our research demonstrated that there's a big disconnect when it comes to SaaS data protection. As a matter of fact, if you look closely across all of the SaaS applications that exist, how many are actually protected by traditional backup and recovery vendors? I believe this gap is only going to accelerate and actually become a problem should anything come up. Vinny, what's your take on this?
Right. I think initially people thought that the infrastructure being protected or nines of availability or a certain uptime was the same as having the data that they put into a SaaS application protected. And they're starting to find out that's not the case. I think you're going to also see companies expand the SaaS workloads they are protecting. I think that people are going to look beyond the SaaS provider for their protection.
In 2021, our intelligent data management research showed that there was an acceleration in the adoption of many techniques and technologies to better reuse data and make those data assets return an investment. To support the large amounts of data, you have to have the right technology in the right place at the right time and at the right cost, including having the right performance characteristics. And surprise, surprise, further research we did around active archives shows that tape is actually a fantastic medium to meet all of these requirements. Vinny, you spent a lot of times with tape in your career, and I think it's an amazing storage medium that has so many characteristics that people may not realize are actually very unique. Can you tell us more about that and what do you think for 2022?
I think, it's cost efficient, it's capacity efficient, and it's energy efficient, right? And the energy efficient can lead to perhaps sustainability efficiency for those that are looking to improve their footprint. Now it's becoming a deep archive, something that doesn't need attention, the automation. So I think it's more of a change in where you're going to see it deployed than anything else.
And I would also add, I believe that active archives are going to keep being adopted across the board, whether on-prem or in the cloud moving forward, combining many technologies, including tape. In 2021, our research showed that there was a big disconnect when it comes to the protection of data in containers and data that works within the container environments themselves including the broader spectrum of replatforming applications into new cloud native type of platforms. All of this is converging to create an acceleration in the market as we see it for 2022. Vinny, what's your take on this from a data protection standpoint?
Yeah, I think containers are key to digital transformation initiatives, but then data protection for these container environments has to keep up. It has to be easy to use, it has to be able to scale, and it has to be able to manage the container throughout its life cycle, from the development phase to when it enters to production. The container developers would be happy if IT operations could take over the backup and recovery of the container once it moves to production. So I think you're going to see ease of use and scale become really key in container data protection.
Well, this wraps up our predictions for 2022. Stay tuned. We have a lot more research coming up this year. We are going to be looking at a big SaaS backup disconnect in a lot more detail. We're going to be looking also at how intelligent data management is about the right data in the right place at the right time and the strategic value of how to manage successfully data assets, focusing on classification and governance for the digital enterprise. We're going to double click on what's going on with containers from a data protection standpoint, as well as look at data protection in distributed cloud environments. And as we do every couple of years, we will also place the focus on real-world SLAs and where they're at and what people are expecting today. Thank you for your time.